Alright then guys, so due to Valve's inconsistency with these upload times, I mean this is literally like 6 hours before the other update came out yesterday. So I was actually at the gym, I literally just got back, and I come back, I go on Twitter, and everyone is going crazy. Valve has released the new Pyro weapons. Now obviously, the Jungle Inferno means it's the Jungle update kind of combined with the sort of Pyro update that's been in the works for quite some time. And honestly, the more I've had a brief look through these, you can kind of see why this update has taken so long to be released. So we're just going to go straight through it. I've only had like a brief scroll through at the moment. I've not looked at anything in too much detail, but I mean, let's just go. So this is day 3, day 4. I'm not going to go to the gym. I'm going to stay home all day just in case Valve just decides to drop an update randomly at 6 in the afternoon. Nonetheless, so let's get into it. So set the world on fire. To quote a great man, in brackets ourselves, from the Meet Your Match update, one lucky class is going to get a full-fledged class pack in a future update. New weapons, new balancing, it could be heavy or it could be the Pyro, but it's not going to be both. True to our word, it wasn't both. It was the good old lovable Pyro. He won. We mean, she won. They won? Look, we all win. Everybody wins but the heavies, so they're kind of sticking with the theme that the Pyro doesn't really have a gender. No one really knows if it's even human at this point, so they're just kind of saying that the Pyros won in this paragraph, and he won, or she won, or they won, fair and square. But if you want these excellent new weapons, you're going to have to earn them. Boot up your contractor and you'll see a node labelled Pyroland. Okay, so what I'm inferring from this is that I released a video earlier saying like things you missed, and on the contractor there was a separate like mission tab of separate like uncompleted missions from Pyroland, and I actually said I believe that it's going to be for Pyro exclusively, and it may have something to do with playing those missions as the Pyro to unlock items for the Pyro, and I was actually right. It contains 6 non-campaign contracts that you'll need to complete to claim your Pyro weapons. These contracts are free to everybody. All you need is the game and a computer to play the game on, and a house to put your computer in if it rains, and electricity to power the... You don't have to buy a campaign pass, is our point. So you can actually get all these Pyro weapons. We're going to go into them in detail individually in a second, but you can get them all for free. You don't need to buy the campaign pass or anything like that. You literally, as long as you own the game and you play once its updates release, you can earn these weapons for free, and the sort of wall paints and stuff will have to be earned through the paid contract. So as you can see here, this is like an image of the Pyro using a jetpack to fly away from combat of the soldier and the heavy. And the first weapon that's been released is the Dragon's Fury. It's a primary weapon. It's a powerful single-shot flamethrower. Consecutive hits reduce reload time and deal bonus damage. So what this is, it's a flamethrower that shoots fireballs. I'm not kidding. This is literally a flamethrower that shoots big blasts of fire at once, and consecutive hits reduce reload time and deal bonus damage. So if you maybe shoot more than, like, if you shoot a ball, it hits someone, shoot another ball, it hits them again, you can reload faster, I guess, and you deal additional damage for every hit. So that's awesome. I love how this looks. I love the design on it. There was a lot of speculation about this in day 2 when it was in the SFM image at the bottom of the page, and I mean, it just looks really cool. I love the graphic on that as well. So onto the thermal thruster. This is a secondary, and this is the jetpack. This is like, everyone saw it in the fart taunt thumbnail. They were like freaking out about it. So it's fires a short duration blast and deals 3 times falling damage to anyone you crash or land on. So it kind of works in the same way that the man treads do, in that if you land on top of someone, it will deal damage to them. And yeah, you can literally fly up for a short amount of time and just fly about. I think that's awesome. It just allows you to kind of get some air and evade combat, or maybe go into flanks. We're going to see a whole new different playstyle for the Pyro. I'm super excited to see what some like main Pyro mains actually think about this. I'm going to be talking to Timo and etc. To see like their kind of opinions on this. We've got the Gaspasser, which is another secondary weapon. Creates a horrific visible gas cloud that coats enemies. Flammable material then ignites into afterburn if enemies take damage, even enemy Pyros. So I'm quite confused by this. Now you guys can leave like what you made from this in the comments below, but what I assume is you fire it, and or maybe it just fires constantly, and it leaves this like smog cloud, and once people come into contact with this smog, it deals afterburn. So that's, I mean, it coats enemies, or maybe once the enemies are coated in it, if you burn them, it deals additional damage. I'm really not too sure. This is like the one that confused me most. Either way, I love the design on these though, I must say. All of these are really well made. I love how this is like a petrol canister, or like a jerry can, I think they're called, like bent out of shape with the Pyro logo. The hot hand, which is a melee weapon. We have a hand melee weapon. Gain a speed boost when you hit an enemy player. Minus 20 damage penalty, and every successful slap is announced in the kill feed. So this is literally, you just go around slapping people. It's kind of like the holy mackerel, in the sense that every time you hit someone, it comes up in the kill feed, and every time you hit someone, the pyro speeds up. So it kind of works in the same way of the old babyface blaster. I'm really interested to see how this works, because we could see pyros slapping people all about the map and then sprinting off. Like, this could be really interesting, and this maybe combined with the thermal thruster, you slap someone, you run away. It's just the ultimate humiliation, lads. So, now they've actually fixed the flamethrower. Not necessarily fixed, but made a lot of altercations to the flamethrower. And this is actually quite interesting to me. And if I go in detail as to what everything kind of says, you know, there's a fair amount to go into. So what you see is what you get. This is the flamethrower improvements. Better visual sync, more consistent, so no visual / damage mismatch. So I'd get this a lot when I play Pyro. Maybe it's just because I was like lagging or something, but like the flame would generally go a lot further away than it actually was, and people wouldn't receive damage for standing in the flame. There's new particle effects, which I'm really interested to see. Maybe they've completely reworked how the flamethrower actually shoots its flames and how the flames actually look, and it applies to all flamethrower variants. So these changes apply to like the degreaser, the flog, I'm assuming. Maybe, I'm not sure actually. The flog would be interesting if it receives a new particle effect. So afterburn has changed as well. Burn duration is now based on how long the flamethrower is actively hitting an enemy. So that's great. Now, like, not everyone's going to be afterburn the same time. So if you just like receive a tiny bit of damage from a flamethrower, the afterburn won't won't last nearly as long as it would if you were in the flame for about five or so seconds. So I think that's really cool. It kind of adds almost like a sense of realism, because you're not kind of burnt that much, and no more puff and run attacks that make enemies burn for 10 seconds. So that kind of links into that. So the airblast has changed as well, and this is what a lot of people are kind of talking about. Hit detection for both player and projectiles is now a consistent cone. Aiming at players' feet no longer misses, which is awesome. Like, you can air blast anywhere and it will actually air blast. Like, I've played dodgeball before and had a few issues with it, so this is really cool. It's just a consistent cone. There's no inconsistencies. Everything is, if it's aimed at, will hit, as opposed to like not certain things hitting. Air blasting players now factors in momentum of the pyro and target, giving both more control over the interaction. So, yeah, so if the pyro is running faster, I'm assuming, and if the target is running faster towards them, maybe it will air blast them further away. That's what I'm going to assume anyway, is kind of like, if the pyro's kind of moving slowly, then it won't have as much of a impact as air blast normally would. Air blast now causes the target player to have reduced footing and air control for a short period, rather than losing all control. So that's interesting. You know, when like you get blown off a cliff on, I don't know, upward, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know as soon as you're in the air it's over. Now you just have limited air control, so or reduced air control and reduced footing, so there may be a chance that you actually can maybe jump back onto the map, which is quite interesting. I guess that's more of like a nerf more than anything, honestly. Now factors in the upwards angle of air blast, rather having fixed upward force. So yeah, that's, I mean, it's in the name. If you aim at their feet and look upwards, they're going to shoot up. If you like aim forwards, they're going to kind of like shoot backwards, or like, you know what I mean, like it depends on how you're looking at them. Air blast strength has increased. Okay, so that's pretty interesting in itself. It's going to be interesting to see how much that was increased by. I think this was a really nice touch by Valve. So the second banana, as I said earlier, excuse me, as I said earlier, The heavy was holding a banana in that SFM, and too bad, heavy players, you lost fair and square and there's no prize for second place. And to commemorate your loss, here's a free gift. Note that you'll need to complete a free contract, so once again you're not going to have to buy the contract to complete this. It replenishes half the health that a sandwich does over the same amount of time, but it recharges twice as fast, so it's going to be interesting to see if people choose the banana over the sandwich. But I think it looks really cool. I think aesthetically it's a really cool weapon, and it's a nice touch from Valve to give them just something while the Pyro gets this jetpack and this gas canister and this new fireball launcher. The heavy gets a nice little banana, so that's a nice touch definitely. And finally, this is what everyone was waiting for, guys. The Pyro Fart Taunt is here, the Gas Blast. A Pyro only kill taunt, free with the Thermal Thruster. So once you unlock the Thermal Thruster, being the kind of jetpack, you get this taunt for free, which is awesome. So the actual scientific term for lighting a fart is pyroflatulence, everybody. In case you were wondering what it's like to have a universe bend down and kiss you directly on the lips. So let's just take a look at it now. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it at this point. The Pyro gets out some matches, sets him alight, turns around and just lets one rip, and this fire, if there's someone stood behind it, will, I believe, kill them. So that's day 3, guys. A bunch of new weapons. You can see the Pyro hugging Saxton Hale, saying thank you. I'm really happy with this. I can see why it took them a long time. Very, very intrigued, however, by the Gaspasser. It's going to be really interesting to see how that works, guys. Let me know what you're most excited for out of this update down below. I'm definitely looking forward to using the hot hand. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Guys, that's just about it for this video. If you did enjoy, please remember to leave a like and let me know your thoughts down below. And yeah, peace.